Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, all those that are invisible are filled by Brahman. All those that are visible are also fully permeated by Brahman. The entire universe has come out of the whole Brahman. Brahman is still full, although the whole universe has come out of it. Om, peace, peace, peace. So, I'm reading Shwetashwatara Upanishad, and is a area where these verses are very cream of Upanishadic understanding, cream of the spiritual texts. So it is to be made, these verses are for meditation and not for talking, but more of contemplation, manana. It's itself, they are so profound that just we can take up those verses and just every word we can dive deep and dive deep, and you'll find that the inner significance is the same absolute one reality. And it's very easy and expressed in such a lucid voice, lucid language. It is when a realization, when one have the realization, the language becomes very simple. Simplest of the simple, at the same profound. You see, Christ said on the Sermon on the Mount, very, very few words, so profound. Blessed are the pure in heart, for she shall see God. No? One word, simple. I need not have to read so many philosophy, nothing. Blessed are the pure in heart. Be pure in your heart. Bas, it's done. Matters little. And as simple as that. So in a heart pure, this mantra will be reverberating in a different level. See, it's Ramakrishna's words. Very simple. So simple. I remember when I was a fourth grade, fifth grade boy, I used to read Gospel. Gospel, not as Gospel has not come out. There one magazine, and in that magazine, little someone is to produce that time. So in the book was there, but book was not available. But what I'm saying, it's 4, 5, 6 grade boy, girl can read Gospel and get attracted. Language is so simple, stories are so simple, not to the fullest length, but it needs banana. That's why reflection and nididhasana, deeper understanding. So we have to dive deep into it. So this is the Upanishad is the same. The Upanishad talks of so many things, but when they go, like Swami Vivekananda in this country, you listen all to the lectures. Towards the beginning, he starts with so many intellectual facts and figures and this and that and that. And when he gets in the extreme end, he's high, fire is high up. And then it's talking about the absolute, and the entire audience will be uplifted like that. So this is the language of the realization. So we have read this example of the what we call the spider and its creation. So similarly, the world has come out of him. It is he, it is that, nothing other than the spider. So nothing other than the Satchidananda everywhere. Then again says, there's only one, he's hiding in all beings. He's all pervaded. He's the inner self of all creatures, all created beings. He presides in all actions. I think I am doing the action. It is his presence or its presence is giving my all actions possible. All beings reside in him. We are all live in that consciousness. And is the witness, and he's at the same time he's the witness, is the pure consciousness, free from all the gunas we see about. And then, like that, the last time we read that verse number 16, it says, E nityo nityanam is a beautiful meditation to do. In anitya, anitya means which is not eternal, which is changing, which is moving, which is always getting transformed into one to other. That means this whole world. Everything is changing. The beautiful flower blossom today, and then it will be withering away. Yeah? Or a bird comes in a flower and bird blooms into a beautiful flower. So it is changing, changing, changing. But what is not changing behind? What is that consciousness? The nitya. So we can meditate by walking in the street, walking everything. Everything is moving, changing, but there is an unchanging substratum. Nityo nityanam eko bahunam. One behind this many. There is not two truth, only one truth, but how many ways to approach? Because our mind does not take it very simple thing. Unless the mind is simple, you cannot think simply. That's what our education teaches, external education teaches. You know how varied way you can think one subject and how complicated you can make it to understand a simple thing. But the opposite is the spirituality. How simple it can be in the all varieties of diversity, all apparent contradictions, but there is one unchanging reality. So he says, Nitya Anityanam, that eternal among the non-eternal, among the eternal. Nitya, sorry, I'm reading wrong. Nitya Nityanam. Anitya, I understand, changing. Nitya means he is eternal among the Nityas. Nityas mean what do you think? Nitya is which does not change. No, we think that we are changing. Gods and goddesses are unchanging. I mean, the God is unchanging. God is not also unchanging. God creates sometimes, so does not do. Sometimes withdraws. Sometimes creates, sustains, but which is beyond all action. That is the reality. So, Nityanam Nitya is the among the eternals. Eternals are what? Angels and gods in every religion. They are called more permanent than us. They live longer than us. But even he is the essence of that. Chetanas chetananam. Wherever there is any pulsation, movement, vibration, any conscious manifestation, is the behind that is that eternal consciousness. Chetana. Only we attribute to the person, to the nature, objective, what we see, that there something conscious in a microscopic thing you can see how the life force is functioning. A very tiny um, insects or bugs. You try to catch it, how it runs away. She's the big spider, so and his legs are this big and body is this much, eyes are where God knows. And you stop anywhere, it runs the other way. You try to catch it, it runs the other way. So, what is the consciousness behind that even tiniest of the tiny object? And that behind that is that consciousness, which is the substratum of all our awareness. Beautiful to think about. I'm talking. I'm consciously thinking something and telling you. But what is the consciousness behind this consciousness? And that is the same consciousness behind all of us. So the same electrical energy behind the bulb, behind the heater, behind the cooler, behind the refrigerator, behind everything which is run by all the computers. But we think that, oh, computer is functioning. Computer cannot function. What is the consciousness behind the computer? Apparently, the electricity. So similarly, the example, anything we see in this world of duality, as aware or you are aware of, is movement is there, consciousness is there, or awareness is there of anything. That is the foundation of that. That is my real nature. Chetanas, Chetana. Eko being one, He supplies the nourishment and fulfillment of everyone's desire. We all pray to God, no? The thief is saying, "Oh Lord, make arrangement for my quick good money. If I can have a if I can have burglary, I can get good money." And the same other person is, "Oh Lord, please protect me." So all prayers are going to one person, and all this fulfillment comes of that one reality. That means one supplying the necessities of everyone. All the desires of everyone is being supported and nurtured by that reality. Tat karanam shankhayogadhigamyam. Tat karanam, that you to release from all fetters on the cause of all, who is the comprehensible through philosophy and religious teaching. So how to get it? Sankha yoga adhigam. Only talking will not have to do. You have to, sankha means analysis. Analyze, analyze, analyze. And yoga, try to contemplate, contemplate, contemplate. Analyze non-essential, essential, non-essential, and essential. And then when you get to touch the glimpse of the essential, now focus there. Meditate on that truth. Think of that consciousness, substrate. And we analyze what he said. Try to see whatever you are seeing. They are nitya, permanent nature. But what is that behind that permanent nature is the eternal consciousness. Try to see that. And then you see everything is pulsating with some energy, some movement. But what is that power behind that movement? Try to go to hold on to that awareness or consciousness or Satchidananda nature. And it's that one reality is who is supplying the necessities of all individual beings, all creation. And you have to understand what is the cause of all this, that the cause of the cause, eternal cause, that is Brahman. You have to meditate by two ways. How to escape? Two ways are there. One, Sankhya in this language, and Yoga. Sankhya means path of analysis, critical analysis. And Yoga means focusing on the truth. What will happen? Only you analyze it is good, it is bad. And you end there. What will do? End result is what? Suppose someone is given some food, you want to, so many varieties of food. You analyze this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad, and say, sit down. Will it do any purpose? Why then analyzed it if you don't take action? What action? What you think good, hold on to that and absorb that. So you feel that that absolute consciousness is the foundation of all. Try to yoga, try to concentrate, try to focus on that consciousness itself. So mere talk, mere study will not enough. Mere study can help us to a certain degree. But practice is very important. Yoga, yoga, yoga. That's why in spiritual life we don't progress anything unless we have this intense zeal to concentrate on the truth. We are hearing the same truth again and again in so many ways. But our lacking of practice is not giving the end result. And therefore, here is assertion. Gatva. Even if you know this way, Gatva means knowing this, knowing not intellectual, by yoga and Sankhya, by Sankhya and yoga.
It's not the philosophies by Kapila and Patanjali.
No, you can use it that also 24 principles and this, but in the context of Nitya, Nityanang, if you can think, then you will say yes. But they are also in Sankhya, if you need 24 cosmic principle, meaning what? This is Jada. If you take the Sankhya word as Sankhya philosophy is 24 cosmic principle and Purusha. This is Prakriti, this is Purusha. The 24 cosmic principle, all are Jada. It has no power of its own. Consciousness gives this movement in life into the. So if you think, then you separate out. Sankhya Yoga, actually Sankhya philosophy says you need not have to know anything. You have to know the separation. If you can separate out, then you are free. You don't make a mistake again. But there is a one step down. If you separate out, you are under the spell of cosmic Maya, still this mistake will come. That's why you have to step up one step, not individual consciousness and individual this body. My body has in this body you have 24 principles plus Purusha consciousness. In behind you, 24 cosmic principle and consciousness Purusha. Na? So, but my Purusha, according to Sankhya philosophy, my Purusha is permanent and eternal, and we are many Purushas are there. But Vedanta says not many Purusha, it is one Purusha appearing in different forms. That's the distinction between Vedanta and Sankhya. So if you take that way also, then you hold on after analyzing the truth that what you are to meditate upon and contemplate. Vedanta contemplation is that this analytical path you reach, that is the consciousness, and then focus on that consciousness and see that consciousness here. And if mind goes anywhere, you see that it is the same consciousness permeated everywhere. Today we read in the Bhagavad, no, that it's the same reality being spoken everywhere. That's why to read the scriptures, you need to have one eye of seeing that one point, what is the key point of all preaching and teaching. That is the consciousness, study of consciousness, study of the ananda, the joy and bliss, eternal bliss or eternal joy. So he said, Gatva, if you can have, if you know this way or understand this way, then mucchate sarva pasoi, then you'll be freed from all fetters of bondage. Nothing can bind, because what will bind you if you see that consciousness everywhere, to whom you will get attached and whom you will detach. If it is all consciousness, nothing to get, nothing to lose. See the benefit of this type of meditation. In dualistic practice, I want to achieve something, get something. As if I have not that, I will get it. No, we do some action. Why do we do the action? To achieve some goal, or karma to achieve some goal. But Vedanta will say, what to achieve? If you understand, is the one substratum everywhere, and that is the consciousness, and that is the bliss eternal. And you concentrate on that and get merged into it. Then who is true? You merge into that consciousness, your ego merges, you dissolve into that consciousness. Then where is you? Where is me? Who is friend? Who is enemy? Who is father? Who is mother? That's why in the Song of Sannyasin, somebody says, father, mother. They say, what? It is sexless self. Where is this, all this concept you are bringing? So this is going back to that state of awareness, that it is the substratum of all and that is everywhere. Knowing this, sarbo pasoi, all types of paso, paso means bondage, shackle, identification. And because of identification, crying and weeping and anxiety and tension. Why tension? Because, oh, what will happen? What will happen? You are Atman, what will happen? Body will go anyway. Body is here, body will not be there. And you go to that, then body concept will go away. Mind will be free from body concept. When you concentrate in some even movie or in some watching some interesting thing in the computer or anything, you forget the world, you forget your body. How many times you remember your body until you stand before the mirror, or there is some pain and something to bring that consciousness more. But our identification runs around this area, it's withdrawn and goes back to the substratum of all movement, substratum of all consciousness. That consciousness, Gatva Sarvapasui Mucchate. Upanishad says, you will be freed from all types of shackles of bondage, suffering, and pain. It is all in your mind. So Make the mind concentrate and focus on the consciousness itself. So we read that much the other days. Now today, 14 verse we are going to read because the same idea will be given. Don't expect anything new. Very, I will learn today very exceptionally new thing. There is nothing. Rather, it is a boring, same thing. But not boring. Those who can touch the ground of this consciousness for a split second, you see, just think of that infinite ocean of consciousness and just forget everything. Everything melts down into that and just dive into that. Immediately you see how broad you feel yourself, how comfortable you feel yourself, how we can free ourselves from our little petty personalities, petty things, petty, which takes our whole energy and life force as it were. So this is the way of freedom. Swami Vivekananda's most favorite verse was this, what I am going to read today. 14th verse. And there is a statement, Swami Shuddhananda. Swami Shuddhananda, who was our General Secretary, Swami Vivekananda's disciple, he was one of the very important figure in the Ramakrishna movement. And Swamiji is very close devotee, monastic devotee. So sometimes Swami Vivekananda is his royal posture is to walk on the ground of Belur Math, and in night time sometimes he used to so. One day he reminisces. Swami Shuddhananda has a reminiscence, and he says there, when Swamiji suddenly will put his forefinger in the high in the sky like that, and he pointing towards the moon or the sun, will utter this word, this mantra, what we are going to read, as if the whole world is to disappear before us. Our mind was transported into that level, what he's speaking about. Na tatro shurjo bhati, na chandra tarakam, nema vidduto bhanti, kutoyam agnehi, tameva bhantam, anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasha, sarvamidam vibhati. Pointing out in the sky is to say, Natatra Surya Bhati. There, the sun does not shine. Sun is pale, pales to nothing. Natatra Surya Bhati. Na Chandra, you see beautiful moon. It's nothing. Na Chandra, na Tarakam. Look at the infinite sky filled with studded with stars. The stars are not there. It is insignificant there. Nema Vidyut, you are thinking thunderbolt, the splash of light. Vidduta is nothing, not na Vidduto Manti. And what is the question of this little fire? All these are consumed into that reality. It is He shining, Tameva Bhantam, that Satchidananda consciousness is shining in its own glory and its reflection, Anubhati Sarvam. What you see, the sunlight and the moon, in the stars, and in the fire, wherever there is light, you see, it is nothing, it is but this little reflection of that eternal light, self effulgent light. And to say, Swamiji's face will be brightened up, and the whole atmosphere will be charged into that spirituality. Because he has seen that experience, he knows what he is talking about. And the rishis, the sages, experienced and expressed their experience in this beautiful language. Na tatro surjo bhati. Tatra means there, surjo the sun, no bhati means does not shine. Na chandra tarakam, not the moon, not the stars. Ima vidduto, these lightnings, no bhanti, it cannot shine there. It pales into nothing. Like there's sunlight and you put a lamp. Daytime with bright sunlight, in the noon light, you put a little flame. It is insignificant comparison to the sun and this light. So similarly, this light, what we see, Nima Vidduto, these lightnings, Nabhanti, it does not shine. Ayamagni, this fire, Kutaha, where from? Bhantam, Tam, him shining eva, sarvam, everything, anubhati, shines after him. Tasya bhasa, its bhasa means the light, idam sarvam bhavibhati. All these are shining. The sun does not shine there, neither the moon nor the stars. There these lightnings shine not. How then this fire? Because he shines, everything shines after him. By his light, all these shine. By speaking of the deity as the source of all luminosity, the Upanishad refers not so much to any brilliance in a material sense as to the fact that all knowing, whether through sensuous perception or other process, take place due to him. He's mentioning the sun, moon means not the material sun he's talking about. Here also, whatever consciousness is prompting me, it is that consciousness is shining through our speech, our action, our look, our action, deeds, and everything. It is He shining, everything shines. That is the reality, and there you have to pound on. So it is said that it is not to any brilliance in the material sense. This is not talking about this sun in the material sun. But what he is doing as to fact of knowing whether through sensuous perception or other processes take place due to him. Because of that, our perception of the senses, our actions, all are possible. The source of all intelligence. Light is symbolically used to indicate knowledge. That is the explanation of this Swami Tagishananda. Swami Lokeswarananda says, in the presence of Brahman, the sun does not shine, nor do the moon, nor the stars, nor does lightning, let alone this fire. When he shines, everything is else able to shine. From him, all these get their light. Now he explains the sun is so vast, so big, though it gives light to everything else, it cannot give light to the self. Behind the sun cannot have its own light. It is a reflected light, and that is the light of consciousness manifesting. Rather, the sun gets its light from the capital self, from Brahman. The same with the moon and stars. When lightning flashes at night, everything is lighted up, but not the self. Behind the lightning, that light is the light of the Atman, of the self, of Brahman. And though lightning is so powerful, it cannot produce light independently of Brahman. All these luminous things derive their light from Brahman, and without Brahman, they cannot give any light. Brahman must be there. It is a source, the support, the essence of everything, including the sun, moon, and stars. It is also the goal of everything. Everything comes from Brahman and again goes back to Brahman. This entire universe is so well organized, disciplined, and planned. The sun is there every day. It is a wonderful creation, but it is all superimposed on Brahman. This is again the Vedanta philosophy. It appears you are wrongly seeing as sun, moon, stars. You are wrongly seeing as human being, trees, plants, earth, water, air. It is all Brahman. You are only misunderstanding it due to your mind and ignorance. It is superimposed on that Brahman. And the Upanishad says, remember, you are that Brahman, that supreme being, not as you think you are with your body. But in essence, you are one with the entity that has manifested itself as the phenomenal universe. Brahman has become the big as well as the small, good as well as the bad. In one aspect, Brahman is the absolute. It is nirguna, without qualities, and nirakara, without any form. But in another aspect, Brahman is the relative, it is this phenomenal world, then there is multiplicity and diversity. That is why we have this idea of unity in diversity. The one has become the many. The one and the many are the same, but without the one, there would not be many. So we see many because we are in this delusion. Therefore, we must have to transcend this by using this knowledge. And now this book is based on Shankara's commentary. So I read that from Virananda. It says, there the sun does not shine, neither do the moon and the stars, nor does these flashes of lightning shine. How can this fire, he, capital, shining all this shine? Through his luster, all these are variously illumined. His luster, the Brahman, all these are variously illumined. Shankara says, Tattva means there means in Supreme Self, capital. Surya, the sun, though it is illuminator of everything. Why sun? Because we think sun is sun. In earlier days, Upanishadic age, I do not know, science was not so much developed. But yes, they were very great in astronomy. Swaradarshan, sixth system, and astronomy was one a big study. And they studied the sky so deeply. So, Surya, the sun, why sun? Because sun illumines everything in this world. Without sun, we cannot live for a day. Its presence is necessary in creating in sustaining and destruction of this life. Now, bhati means does not shine. That means it does not reveal Brahman. Aye. That means in that place, the sun cannot go there because it cannot reveal the Brahman. It is only reflection. You stand before the mirror, you are seeing the image in the mirror. That image in the mirror cannot reveal the truth. It can intellectually give you some concept, but you cast that person in the behind the someone is trying to see that in the mirror I see my face. So if someone wants to cast that image in the mirror, it is false. You cannot find it. You have to go back to here. Whose reflection is this? So the sun, its brilliance, you want to catch Brahman there? No, it is a mistake. It is a reflection. So you have to go back to who is reflected there. So this who is reflected as the consciousness, eternal consciousness. That is called the Brahman. So don't mistake, because in India, in early days, even today, we worship sun god. Even in our daily puja, we do worship to sun god. Sun god means what? Very significant. Sun god means sun is not God. But the consciousness in the sun is indicated by sun god. And then we do everyday puja time. We offer every offering to the sun, but not the material sun. People misunderstand that. Chandra Loka. We say the Chandra Loka. After death, we go through the path of light or darkness and ultimately reach the Chandra Loka. Chandra Loka means sphere. Chandra Loka does not mean this material moon. Material moon, our man has walked on the moon. Where is that Loka? So much the sages are talking about Chandra, Devata, and they are worshipping the Chandra as God. It is not a material side, but there is a sphere. There is a mental sphere. So that sphere is illuminated by the consciousness. So this is the idea, that is the sun, though it is the illuminator of everything, Nabhati does not shine because it does not reveal Brahman. For the sun illuminates all the forms through his light, means light of Brahman, his capital. That's why this book, when you read, modern English has made it everything small, no? Small letter. But reading the scriptures, if you do that, you are mistaken. Where he is capital and he is small letter, it changes the whole meaning. If you say H capital in the middle of the sentence, you mean that divine entity. But sometimes if you modern English, if you flat everything in as in writing style, then you are mistaking. You will not be catching what he indicates. So here, এখানে H capital. That's it for the sun. The sun illuminates all the forms through his light. Indeed, who is the self of all. In itself, it has no power of illumination. Similarly, the Chandra Tarakam, similarly, neither do the moon and the stars. Naima Vidduta Bhanti, neither do these flashes of lighting can shine. Kutaha, how can I am this Agni, the fire that is known to us? That means Agni means you are offering oblation in the fire of uh, homo fire. The fire you see, this fire is only a reflection of the eternal light. To be to be short, the fact that the world shines, it is so because he himself shining, being effulgence by its original nature. It anubhati shines according, as for instance, iron, etc., burn not by themselves, but as the fire does so. So, giving the example, I give the reflection idea, and here it gives the idea that you put a iron bar in the fire iron bar becomes takes the color of the fire. But iron has not the intrinsic power of fire. Intrinsic power is from the fire itself. It has entered into the iron piece, which is other than iron. So this jara, this material universe, has been shining because the shining nature has entered into the creation itself. That's why we see everyone shining, means manifesting, expressing themselves in different levels: physical level, mental level, intellectual level, emotional level, and ego level, in all these layers. Tatsvabhasha means through his luster alone, Sarvamidam, all these sun, moon, etc., shine. It has also been said, being illumined by whose light the sun shines. Taittiriya Upanishad also says, neither the sun, nor the moon, or the fire illumines that. Bhagavad Gita. But the same type of verse is there. So these are the three explanations of the verse 1. But I say it is a really wonderful verse to contemplate while even keeping your eyes. These two verses, last verse and this verse, very profitable. We say that we cannot meditate, but this is a one type of meditation to lift our consciousness into a very high level. Think of big stars, galaxies, sun, moon. Then a littleness will forget. You are this little, it will automatically go away when you think of this vastness and then think what is behind that. So this is the path of Vedanta. That's the path, beauty of Vedanta. It makes us great. Whenever you think, it makes you big, bigger than what you think about or we think about. Eko, now the next verse is the 15th verse. It says, Eko Hangsha, Eko Hangshaha, Eko Hangshaha, Bhuvanasya Madhe, Bhuvanasya Madhe, Swaiva Agni, Swaiva Agni, Solile Sangnivishta, Solile Sangnivishta, tamevo viditva, tamevo
Tamev
viditva,
viditva
otimrittumeti, otimrittumeti, nanna pantha, nanya pantha, viddate ayanaya, viddate ayanaya, eko hangsha,
eko
eko
hamsa
hangsha, bhuvanasya madde,
bhuvanasya
bhuvanasya madde, saiva agni,
saiva
saiva
agni
agni, solile sangnivishta,
salile
solile
sannivishta
sangnivishta, tamevo viditva, tamevo
tamev
viditva,
viditva
otimrittumeti, otimrittumeti, nanna pantha, nanna pantha, viddate ayanayo, viddate
vidyate
ayanayo.
ayanaya
Eko hangsha. Eka means one. Hangsha means swan, normally meaning swan. But here it means destroyer of ignorance. That one, this knowledge, what we are talking about, it can destroy our ignorance. So, eko hangsha, which destroys the ignorance of this eko hangsha, asya bhuvanasya madhye, is of this world, in the midst of the world. That means this truth, ekaha, that one truth which is destroyer of ignorance, is in the bhuvanasya madhye. Bhuvanam is the earth. It has penetrated in the earth. As it penetrates, it does not, it covers everything inside, outside. To give this concept, he's saying that this energy or this consciousness, ekaha, that is the only one who destroys the hangsha. Hangsha means who swims in the waters, no? But water does not get stuck. So that means he lives this totally disconnected with the world. That means in transcendental level. That's why Ramakrishna he called Hangshana, Paramahamsa. Paramahamsa means supreme swan. Supreme swan means he is not unattached to anything. He is not being bothered about the world and worldliness. Though he is in the world, but he is beyond all. So we are called, our monastic order is called, what is your nature of your sannyas? Because we are Paramahamsa sannyasi. Why Paramahamsa? We are all Paramahamsa. Why? Because it is a lineage. It comes from Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna's disciples are their disciples. It's a lineage. So Paramahamsa. So it is we are our monastic so, people are called. What is your gotra? That's Paramahamsa. Paramahamsa gotra. You belong to the group lineage of the Paramahamsa category. Paramahamsa means I was absolutely tuned high into the consciousness. That means it gives a great responsibility to think about this spiritual life of this of this tradition. And then that means whoever is following you, it is so, but superb. So it is called the Paramahamsa. So he says, Asya Bhuvanasya Madhye, in this world, in this midst of the world, Ekaha, that one reality, is the destroyer of all ignorance. That means water does not stick, the world does not touch him. He lives in the world does not touch him. So that Swayeva alone solile, he, that same reality, you find in the waters. We say song, God in the waters, God in the sun. Our Diaprana has composed few songs. The God in the water,
mother in water
Mother in the water, Mother in the sun, Mother in the moon. Meaning, this is the idea that try to see, try to see, try to see, impose. And a mother, we can say, so it brings little form and some saguna idea. But you can say that absolute consciousness in the water, that absolute consciousness in the sun, in the moon. Same thing, only terminology is the question. Don't get troubled by the words. Christ on the left, Christ on the left. Okay, what the problem? Upanishad says Atma in the bottom, Atma above, Atma on the right side, Atma on the left. What does it matter? Atma, Rama, Krishna, Kali, Mother. Ooh, those who don't understand, they will fight with each other. But it is the same thing. You call it Mama, that's good idea. I call it Allah, that's also good idea. You call Rama, that's also good idea. But you see everywhere. If you can see everywhere, then it is the same. But only they are my people, they are only right path and they are not. Then you are separating God into two divisions. And then you are not accepting God, the absoluteness and infinite expanse of this divine. No? That's why don't limit that reality. That's why he is in the Lord God, or that shining nation, as we talked about, is the second verse says, in the 16th verse, that Sannivishtu, Solile Sannivishtu, he is entered or he is sustained into the waters. Agni, and in the fire. Tamevo, that alone, Viditva, if you can realize it, Mittumattet, you can overcome death. And there is no other way. Emancipation is not possible. There is no other path to get your freedom. So, unless you see this oneness in the sun, in the moon, in the stars, in human beings, in plant and animal and everywhere, oneness, there is nothing but one. You will have to come back and go and come back. But if you know it, you are eternally free and you are established in the bliss and nothing can touch. So that is the word for word meaning. Running meaning says the one, that means the Brahman, destroyer of ignorance in the midst of this universe. He is in the midst of the universe. He alone is the fire, which is stationed in the water. Realizing him alone, one overcomes death. There is no other path for emancipation. Now, note says, by speaking of God as the fine fire stationed in the water, the Shruti indicates that pure spirit is immanent in the world. However different the latter might appear to be from it, as fire and water are different in point of grossness, corruption, and other unspiritual qualities. So, in the gross material, we find good qualities, bad qualities. But when you look at this perspective of consciousness, there is no good, no bad. It is only one consciousness appearing in so many ways. Good and bad, all are appearing because of the ignorance. The mantra almost makes it clear that the fire worshipped by the Vedic rishis, which was considered by them symbolically as hidden in the waters, is none other than that great God concealed in the midst of this world of change and illimitation. In this world also God is hiding. That's why it's called hide and seek play. Really, God is everywhere. I'm seeing God, but I don't see God. From the perspective of the sages, I am touching God. This is touching God. This is not a table. But I am seeing it is a table. This is the mistake. I am seeing the light. It is the light of consciousness. But I am seeing is material, earthly, electrical light. This is the mystery. And that is to be veiled, is to be removed by constantly thinking that it is the consciousness, it is the consciousness. I'm mistaken, I'm mistaken, I'm mistaken. All the movement, all the transition, all activity, all speech, everything is pulsating from that consciousness. So it is nothing but that consciousness. One. So Swami Lokeshwarananda says what he says. Let us read. Eko Hamsa. The Lord alone is present in this world. The body is nothing but water, and the Lord is present in this as fire. He is bringing another idea. The body is nothing but water, and the Lord is present in this as fire. Water and fire. Of course, our body has all the five elements. Water element is also there, fire element is also there. As fire, he burns up the ignorance within. If you know him, you overcome death. And this is another type of another angle. This fire, this fire burns up the ignorance within. So it is made of material constituent is the water, fire, but the fire is the or ignorance will be destroyed by that. As fire burns up the ignorance within it, if you know him, you overcome death. There is no other way. He who destroys is a hangsha. Yahanti sahangsha. A Shankaracharya says. He one destroys the ignorance, he is called Hamsa. Destroy what? Destroy ignorance. Who destroys our ignorance by who destroys our ignorance? By knowledge, by knowing who are we. Hmm? We destroy our ignorance by what? By the knowledge, by knowing who we are. Knowledge of ourself is the supreme goal. Vedanta says that you may know so many other things, but if you do not know your own self, capital, you will never be happy. Mundak Upanishad begins with this question: is there anything by knowing which I can know the entire world? We all understand that it is impossible for us to know everything about this world. There is a vast ocean of knowledge before us, and we can take only a few drops. The Upanishad says that if you know yourself, if you knew Brahman, then you know everything else. It is like knowing toy animals made of clay. We give the example: if you know one, you know everything. It is like a animal cookies. Animal cookies, so many divers, elephant, tiger, snake, maybe high 100 types of form and name, but the same dough everywhere. You bite a snake, it will be the same sweetness. You bite a horse, that will be the same, because it's made of one constituent thing. So one realizes God, then he attains to that state. He feels joy everywhere. There is no frightening element. There may be Shiva. Someone can prepare a cookie in the shape of Shiva, and someone can make a devil. You bite the devil, it is sweet. You bite the Shiva, it is same. So when one gets the wisdom, eye wisdom, then whatever he sees in his eyes, he enjoys everywhere. There is no good, no bad. Ramakrishna going to Calcutta, and so he entered into a wrong area, and he saw the women in half naked dress, and then Ramakrishna is saluting, Ma, you are here in this form. Ramakrishna sees the form only. It is the Divine Mother standing there. See, this is the oneness will come. In their eyes, there is no distinction. That's why Holy Mother is so perfect, because she lives in that consciousness. So, no good or bad. It is only in impure mind. When one gets the knowledge, then it is all one. The Upanishad says that if you know yourself, you know Brahman, you know everything else. It is like knowing a toy animal made out of clay. One may be shaped like a dog, another like an elephant, another like a tiger, but they're all clay. Clay images. The clay is the substance. If you know the material which they are all made, then the names and forms they assume are unimportant. Brahman is also called Agnihi, fire, because it burns. Burns what? It burns our impurities, and ignorance is the greatest impurity. Solila means water, but here it refers to the human body. The body is called Solila because the element of water predominates in this body. Yeah, it is said now how much is the water in our body? 70%, or how much percentage they say?
80%.
Huh?
80%.
80%. So that's why he said here Solila means the body, which means predominates in it. Solile means it means in the heart that is purified. A pure heart is one of which the ego is subdued. All our impurities, greed and pride, selfishness and anger come from egotism. If you want to make progress in spiritual life, the heart must be purified and the mind must be controlled. Tameva viditva, it is simple. By knowing Brahman, you go beyond death. Knowing Brahman means knowing that Brahman is your own self, that you are Brahman. This is how you overcome death. It is not that there is no death. The body will die. Body is made of flesh and it will disintegrate. It will perish. It comes from the earth and it goes back to the earth. But you are the Supreme Spirit. Nothing can destroy you. When you have this conviction, you conquer death. But this conviction comes only through knowledge, and there is no other path, there is no other way to escape the death. Well, and the Shankara's book said, there is one supreme self in the midst of this universe. He himself is the fire that is fully established in the water, means the body. But knowing him alone, one goes beyond death. There is no other path to go. There is ekaha means one, hangsha means the word derived in the sense of one who destroys the cause of bondage, that is ignorance. It means supreme self. Madhya means in the middle, in the midst. Vasya bhuvanasya in this universe. That means universe consisting of the three worlds, earth, heaven, and the interspace. Bhur bhuvaswa. No one else whosoever. Why? Because Sa means however, he himself, the Lord himself, is Agni, the fire, comparable to a fire because it burns away ignorance and its effects. It has also been said, God is the fire that is beyond the sky. Or Upanishad says. That is the fully established as the self in this water, which has become transformed as the body. As it has been said, thus in the deed after fifth oblation, the water comes to be called a person. He's quoting other Upanishad to substantiate this idea. Therefore, viditva means by knowing tameva, him alone, or teti means one goes beyond mittum, the death, naviddati. There is no mittu other than, there is no other path to cross the death. There is no other way to overcome our imperfection, our death. So, to see this oneness, that is the main thing. To see this oneness that is permeated in the earth, that is permeated into the waters, and in every name and form. To see that is to burn the fire of knowledge so that ignorance is destroyed and never to come back. That is the freedom. Freedom will come. So, we end here. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Pranamastu. So tomorrow we'll have gospel class at 7:30. And if anyone has any question, no.
What does Jara literally translate
Eh?
to? Jara?
Hmm?
What does Jara translate
Jara.
to?
Joy.
Jara. Jara.
Jara. Jara means the inert matter.
Speaking to oneness, and you talk about learning it or knowing it, is there a difference in importance to that or experiencing it in a like
Yeah.
more other
Knowing and experiencing are different.
Mhm.
I know I can give a good lecture about milk. Ramakrishna said, milk, I can give milk has this good, so much of this calorie, so much of this and that, and it gives good nourishment to the body. And one can give long talk about that. But that maybe intellectually we have some concept. But do you feel the joy of drinking the milk? That is the drinking the milk. It is not only talking, not only seeing from a distance. By absorbing that reality, you become charged with that. That is called experience. That is the difference between, because we can talk lifelong, but unless we practice, we absorb it. See, I give a gross example. Someone never have tasted, say, wine or say some good beer, and someone gives a good lecture and keep the bottle there and say, hey, you drink, then you will feel how you will get intoxicated. And you do this and do that. You give a very exhaustive talk and keep the bottle there and the person there separate. Will you ever understand what is there in the beer? That means when you take it, then what happens? You see that you are becoming intoxicated. So similarly, God is here. I know intellectually, God is everywhere. God is in it makes very rational thing that everything is moving, everything is acting, moving, acting, reacting, all this going on in every level. Some subatomic particle to go to the highest level. Subatomic particle you go and try to break the rotation of one of these things. It becomes an explosion. It becomes the atomic energy. What is the atomic energy? So, but how to get it? We know that there is energy. That will not do. One will have to experience, that means you feel that it is one, that same energy everywhere. The energy behind it. That's why meditation. That's why deep absorption into this thought. And it will, and then what is the sign? You will find your face is becoming beaming. You think of this grand philosophy for a few minutes, you see a different person. Your depression will go away. Mind is stooped in some worthlessness, it will boom up. Hey, yes, physically I am weak, but I am that. See, you say 2 times, you see, you up. Vedanta is such. And it is not giving false hope. It is telling what we are. What we have forgotten and what we are behaving is a wrong behavior. We are not paying attention to what we are. We are emphasizing what we are not all the time. Brainwashing. Our brain is washed. The communist people, they do brainwash. And brainwashing kills the whole society. We faced in West Bengal, in Calcutta, what is called brainwashing. Kill these people. You want the society to uplift? Go and break the wall. Break that region. Kill that person. Stab him. Disrespect all the honest people who have done anything. Destroy this. We'll build up new civilization. And they destroyed every school, college, good people. One good professor in Jadavpur University, he was walking by the side. He's honored by everyone. These brainwashed people went and stabbed him in the road and he died. For no reason, he's going to his shopping for something. And the most honorable, respectful person. Brainwashing can do that. But the same person, others are crying for him, knows his unique greatness. So we are brainwashed that I am this, and not the consciousness what is making me to think I am this. And the sages have no meaning. They have no royalty here. They are not getting any money. Or what you call royalty for every publication, every book sold. So you get some 1%. We do not know who these people are. Where they were born. In every religion, there is some people who are the boss of that religion. Christianity. Christ is the person who is standing behind Christianity. Without Christ, no Christianity. Buddhism. Buddha is there, a person. If you take out Buddha, then Buddhism will fall down. But Hinduism, there is no question of falling down because there is nobody to fall. They are so humble, they only experienced and given that expression to the people unconditionally, no copyright.
Unlimited amounts of expression of God.
Yeah, because there is no expectation, there is nothing to gain. They only did it for the welfare of us, so that we, the ignorant person, groping in darkness and crying and weeping, sobbing and anxieties and worry, we be freed. Nanna pantha vidyate ayana. There is no other way. This is the only way. He repeated this. What is his business? We do not know who have said, and no, they don't care for credit, acknowledgement, thanks, nothing, but get the benefit. This is called the greatest gift to the world. Hinduism is strong in that ground. The whole world will go away. This principle will remain. Forgetful about that. That's called, it is called the universal religion. That's why we call it the universal
Did
religion.
the other religions kind of keep what Hinduism teaches secret or only for like
No, it is
the upper
open.
tier?
No,
No, I don't mean Hinduism. I mean like other religions. They kind of kept that knowledge or that teaching only to a certain amount of people, maybe.
yeah, they in every religion there is the same principle the founders have experienced and told, but we are unable to grasp the meaning, inner meaning of them. We distort their teaching and we make a mistake. I cannot blame Christ, Buddha, or anybody.
No.
That I am saying it is a misinterpretation. It is this same text I am reading. You can have different explanation, interpretation according to the mind of the person who have a slight tendency for worldly enjoyment. He will put words into in such a way to explain this with this little touch of a little touch of chutney, worldly chutney. But you go to Ramakrishna, it will be clear, pure, no chutney. You have to dry and cut and dry. But when you sip into that joy, then it will be full of bliss. That's it. It is not explanation depends on the. That's why interpreters are necessary. Wrong interpreter, right interpreter. This time it was fortunate that the rishis only will teach to a competent student. That students should be loyal, students should be dedicated to God consciousness, students should be respectful for the teacher, and full of detachment and really want to know the truth. That is the criterion. Without they will not speak a word. Genuine student will be those are seeking. I'm hungry, really genuinely hungry. You give me a little food, I will be thankful to you. No, I am full. Now you give me a delicious meal. What shall I do? I had to refuse. Okay, thank you. So see you tomorrow. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Okay.